Hello all, my name is Hitesh Tamani and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, today I am back with another interesting business problem. This question had been asked in Facebook, so make sure you watch the video till end and please subscribe to the channel if not already done yet. So as we can see, we had been given the data of users and their journey in Facebook. So this particular table is at a user ID level and we had day level data available in this particular table, right? So let me just quickly explain you what all info is there in this table and what is the task we have to perform, right? So uh, s- we can see basically in this particular table, let's say a particular user is doing any of the activity on Facebook, that info is getting captured in this, right? So we can see basically we are having user ID available over here, event ID, event type and event date, right? So let's say a particular user is doing sign in on so and so date, so that is getting captured in this particular table, right? So what I did is I have bifurcated this, or I have created three different buckets of this particular table based on the event date, right? So if we can see, like for fifth month, I have created one bucket, sixth month there is second bucket, and seventh month we are having three bucket, like third bucket basically, right? Now let me just quickly explain you the task for this particular problem, right? So what we have to do, we have to calculate number of monthly active users on Facebook, right? So basically what is meant by active number of users on a particular channel, right? Or in other words, like we can say like how many customers that particular platform had retained on on a given platform, I would say, right? So it's basically customer retention kind of thing, or like user retention kind of thing, or how many number of active users are there on that particular platform, right? So as per Facebook, it had been defined, let's say a particular user did any of the activity in a given month, right? So since we have to find out active number of users in the month of July, so let's take an example of July itself, right? So since July will be the current month for us, or active month for us, so what we have to do, basically we have to check like number of users who did any of the activity in the current month, right? And in the previous month as well, right? So this is what they have mentioned. Like let's say we can quickly take the example of the seventh month over here. So as we can see, like 742 is the user ID, right? Who did like in seventh month, right? Can we check, like basically is there 742 user ID is there in the sixth month as well? Yep, is there, right? So basically this user had did sign in sixth month, and then it's like this particular user did like in seventh month, right? So like this user will qualify the definition of active user, right? Similarly, if we can check 648 user, so as we can see 648 user is also available in seventh month and in sixth month as well, right? Similarly, if we can check for 446, so we can see 446 is there in seventh month, right? But I can't see 446 in sixth month, right? Let's see in fifth month. So yeah, in fifth month 446 is there, right? So but this will not qualify our definition of active user, because this is not there in sixth month actually, right? So it's mandatory, like if a particular user is doing any of the activity in current month, that user should be active, or that user should have done something in the previous month as well, right? Previous month, I mean like the a very previous month, right? So um, let's see like how we will be able to solve this particular problem in SQL. I hope you got the problem statement, like what we have to do in this particular task, right? So let me just quickly go on to SQL Workbench. So over here, as we can see, we are having the user actions table, which I have already created. I have provided create and insert statements of this particular table in the description below. You guys can take it from there and practice it by your own. So yeah, so we have the exactly same information which we had seen just few minutes back. Now what we have to do basically, we have to fetch number of active users at a month level, right? But as we can see, basically this particular table is at a daily level or like date level, I would say, right? So first of all, what we have to do, we have to fetch month from event date, which is in this particular table, right? So let me just quickly show you how you guys can do that in SQL Server. So in SQL Server, you guys have like month function, which is an inbuilt date time function in SQL, right? So what you have to do, month of event date, okay, as let me just give it as alias as month num, okay, and let's say if we will run this, so we can see like we got like month number over here along with the event date, right? So now since we got month number over here, now what we have to do, we have to compare the current month, basically the active users of current month with like users of previous month, right? So this kind of comparison we have to do in this particular table, right? So for that, let me just quickly give it as let me just quickly provide a CTE for this particular uh, like piece of code, right? So I'm giving it as CTE1, right? As, and this is my first CTE. Okay. So let me just quickly do select star from CTE1, and you guys will be able to see we have star. Okay. So we have this particular data set available, right? Now what we have to do, we have to do a comparison between current month and previous month over here, right? So I hope you guys might be aware about that, like if we have to do comparison uh, between like let's say current date or previous date, current month or previous month, right? We are having a like really powerful analytical functions in SQL called as lead or lag, right? So basically what we have to do, we have to be like compare this month with its previous month, right? So can I say, if I will get data of previous month along with data of current month over here as a separate column, then my problem statement will become easier, right? So let me just quickly show you how you can achieve that particular thing in SQL Server. So I'm what I'm doing over here, since I don't need all these columns in my problem in my solution, right? So basically I can select only month number, which is the required column. So it will be month number, and then I need user ID as well, because I have to count number of users or active users in that particular month, right? So I will use user ID, right? Now since I have, so I have to do a comparison, right? So like with this current month and the previous month, right? So what I will do, can I create a column over here, right, which will give me like previous month number along with the current month, right? So as I've mentioned, like in order to get that particular column, or in order to get the previous month number along with current month, we are having analytical functions in SQL Server, right? So for that I'm using lag over here, right? What lag will do, it will fetch the previous month for me, right, or previous record, right? Similarly, we are having lead as well as the Windows function in SQL Server. What lead will do, it will basically fetch the next month or next record for you, right? So yeah, now basically what we have to do, we have to do lag of what, right? We need month number, like we have to do a comparison of month number, right? So what we have to do, we have to do lag of month num, okay, over now I am doing a partition over here, right? Partition of what? We need this month number to be compared at a user ID level. For each user, we have to do a comparison, right? That's why I'm doing by partition by of what? User ID. Okay. And then I have to do a order as well, right? So order by what? So basically I have to arrange this month number from smallest to largest, right? So basically, that's why I have to do order by of what? Order by of month number. Okay, let me just quickly give it as alias as like previous month. Okay, and then let me just run this entire query. Yep. So if I'm running this, so as you can see, uh, for for this particular month, we are having user ID, right? And we are having previous month as well, right? Let me just quickly have current month as well. I think like current month is already there, right? So let me just quickly explain you like for month number 7th, right? So as we can see, for month number 7, 742 is the user ID, right? And this user ID did some of the action in or some of the event this particular user had performed in 6th month as well, right? Similarly, if we can see for this user, like for user ID 648, who did some of the like who had performed some of the event in like 7th month, right? And like basically this user was active in 6th month as well, right? Similarly, for this particular user, right? So this user was active in 7th month, right? But then this user was active in 5th month, right? And not in 6th month, right? So this is something which we have like this is something which will disqualify our like active user definition, right? So now what we have to do, we have to first of all filter out data only for 7th month, right? So that we will basically do in the next query over here. Let me just quickly put this again, this as a second CTE. So what I'm doing is I am using CTE2 as, and I will give it comma over here. Okay, now select star from CTE2. Okay, let me just quickly run this and we'll show you. Okay, it's same, right? So now what we have to do, we have to basically filter out only 7th month records, right? So let me just quickly do that. So it's like month num, we have to fetch month num, right? And in the output, what we have to do, in the output we have to count active number of users in the 7th month, right? So what we have to do, we have to do count of user ID, right? Now here, like what could be the case, like since this particular data set is a sample data, but in the real data you guys might be having like multiple like user IDs or like same user IDs in like same month, right? So basically let's say this 742 user ID could be 2 times or 3 times in this 7th month, right? Because one user can do multiple events on a single day, right? So that's why let's say there could be the case like the user IDs could be multiple. So that's why I'm using distinct of user ID, right? So what I'm doing over here is like I am counting distinct of user IDs, right? And I am giving it alias as active users. Okay. Now what we have to do, we have to filter out this particular data just for 7th month, which is for July, right? So I am giving it as condition as where month num is equal to 7, right? Now, how we will basically get all those records which are qualifying our active user definition, right? So can we say if a difference between current month and previous month is equal to 1, right? Which means if there is a gap of just 1 month between previous month and current month, then only that particular user will be active, right? So can I say and month num minus previous month is equal to 1. So basically, if this condition will qualify my records, then only like that particular record should appear in my output, right? Which means if this particular case we will consider, so the subtraction of 7 and 5 will be 2, which will disqualify my active user definition, right? So yeah, so this is the case which we have to provide in the where condition. And since I am using aggregate function over here, so I have to do a group as well. So I am using group by. month num. Okay. Now let me just quickly run this complete query and we'll show you how this will look like. I think like I will remove this and we'll run this, right? So as we can see, we have in 7th month, we are having only 2 active users, right? And which is what the scenario as well, right? So like that, you can be able to figure out like what is the like customer retention rate, or like how many number of active users are there in particular month or so, right? So I hope you like this particular video and got to learn something new today. Let me know in the comment section if you know any other better way to solve this. That's all from my side. See you all. Have a great day ahead. Bye bye.